Good evening, students. I'm Dilan Rajapaksha from the Department of Business Economics. We are about to commence session number 5, which is a continuation session of the previous session. You learned from Dr. Anandaratnayaka. These are the things we will be discussing throughout today's session. First, we will learn about the budget constraint or budget line. And then we will learn about slope of the budget constraint. After that, we will have some idea about changes in the budget constraint. And finally, we come to the end point of our session, which is consumer equilibrium. In the previous session, what you have learned was totally about consumer preferences. People consume bundles of commodities. By consuming commodity bundles, they derive utility. Based on utilities, people can rank their commodity bundles. For example, if a consumer is using bundle A and bundle A, if bundle A derives a higher utility level for the consumer from bundle A than B, he ranks A is preferred to B. Likewise, they can rank the available commodity bundles for them. Those rankings we can show using an indifference curve map. Let's take two commodities, X and Y. This quadrant may contain a large number of indifference curves. When a consumer moving away from the origin to the northeast direction, he or she will reach higher utility levels. The consumer's objective is to maximize his or her satisfaction, to maximize his or her utility, so that a rational consumer is willing to reach the highest possible utility level represented by higher indifference curves. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. In the real world, consumers always face different types of constraints. For example, government can impose rules and regulations over consumption. For example, the government can prohibit consumption of certain drug items. For another example, moral values of individuals also can play as a constraint. For example, most of the parents don't want to see their children are consuming cigarettes and alcohol. Although we discuss rules and moral values as constraints, this is not the subject point of an economist. Economist is not going to judge what is good and what is bad for consumption. If your brother or sister is consuming cigarettes, it is not good from your point of view, your parents' point of view. But economists can predict your brother's behavior related to cigarette consumption based on his current behavior. So in economics, we don't consider government imposed rules and regulations, moral values of individuals or societies as constraints. Our focus is on the budget. What is budget? Simply, we can define the budget as a fixed amount of money available for a consumer to be spent on a set of commodities during a given period of time. Budget is always a fixed amount. There are two concepts that go together, budget and income. Can we consider both budget and income concepts as identical concepts? Not really. Income and budget may differ due to two main reasons, savings and borrowings. But the thing is, in economics, we have to consider savings and borrowings as two different commodities which derive some sort of satisfaction for the consumer. To study how much a consumer will save, how much a consumer will borrow, we need a separate analysis based on the theories and concepts we learn in consumer behavior theory. Therefore, we assume during the period under consideration, the consumer is not do any saving. The consumer is not borrowing any amount of money, so that we can make the available amount of money a fixed amount. In consumer behavior, we assume during the period under consideration, there is no saving, there is no borrowing occur. In that sense, budget and income we can consider as two identical concepts. We can use the term budget and we can use the term income interchangeably. Okay, let's consider about a consumer called Asel. He is given a fixed amount of money, I. And during a week, Asel is planning to consume two commodities, X and Y. He can allocate this available amount of money between X and Y. A part of this income is spent on X, and the remaining part of income is spent on Y. The income spent on X is the cost occurred on X. We can calculate that amount by multiplying price of X, the unit price of X, into number of X units consumed during the period under consideration. The amount spent on Y, or the cost spent on Y, can be calculated by multiplying unit price of Y into number of units consumed from Y. Therefore, income available for a consumer during a period under consideration comprises of two components. Since ASEL is consuming only two goods, income comprises of two parts: amount spent on X, PX into X, and the other part is PY into Y, the amount spent on Y. Okay, this is what we have learned before. Budget constraint reflects the constraint on consumption decisions. We can mathematically show the budget constraint in this way: I equals Px into Qx plus Py into Qy. Let's take an example. A consumer is consuming mangoes and apples. The price of an mango is 30 rupees. Price of an apple is 15 rupees. And this consumer is given an income of 150 rupees. This person can allocate this 150 rupees between mangoes and apples in different ways. One way is this person can allocate the entire amount of 150 rupees on mangoes. And there is another way. The consumer can spend the total amount of 150 rupees on apples. Or else, he or she can spend 50 rupees on both mangoes and apples. Let's see what happens to the budget constraint if the consumer is consuming only mangoes. Our budget constraint is I equals Px into M. M stands for number of mangoes plus PA into A. A stands for number of apples. When the consumer is purchasing only mangoes, there is no any cost incurred for apples. The total amount of income is spent on mangoes. Then how many mangoes this person can purchase can be calculated based on this equation. I equals Pm into M. M equals I divided by Pm. To find how many mangoes this person can purchase can be calculated by dividing the income available for the consumer by the unit price of mangoes. On the other hand, the consumer can purchase apples only. When the person is purchasing only apples, the total income is spent on apples. Then the income constraint will become I equals PA into A. The number of apples this person can purchase can be calculated by dividing the total income by the unit price of A. So these are the two extremes a consumer can purchase. From one hand, the consumer can consume only mangoes. Then the total amount of income is spent on mangoes. To find the number of mangoes he can purchase, we have to divide the income by the unit price of mangoes. And on the other hand, the person can purchase apples only. To find the number of apples he can purchase, we have to divide income by the unit price of apple. And in between these two extremes, we have another option. The person can purchase a combination of mangoes and apples. In this case, he will spend a part of his income on mangoes and the remaining part on apples. But in our analysis, we say the consumer should spend the total income in order to reach the maximum possible utility level. Therefore, whatever the combination they choose, they have to spend the total amount of money available for the consumer. Why do we say so? If a consumer is not using the total amount of budget he or she has, it is against more is preferred to less property.